Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, Semi Mount Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Rain Check. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright, you don't smell it? It's a sweet, faint odor. I can't remember where I've smelt this before. Rhou ignores Javier's comment and fixes his attention to the ground. Doesn't appear to have much inside. But wait, these boxes. Wolf picks up one of the boxes and examines it, shakes it, and tosses it back down. They belong to Cyprus. All these boxes are empty, too. Wait, what do we have here? The fox leans over and pulls out a small gray rag from within one of the boxes. How suspicious. Let me take a look at that. They exchange the cloth around, and Rhou holds it up to the light. The wolf cautiously raised the cloth to his snout, only to recoil abruptly. Fucking! Rhou coughs a few times, prompting Javier to take the rag from him and cautiously examine it himself. Que carajo! Javier scrunches up his face, pulling his sleeve over his nose and quickly ducking out of the storage room. It's chloroform! Chloroform, are you okay? I rush to Javier's side. He looks like he's really out of it. Yeah, that would explain the smell. Ugh, starting to get a headache. The fox takes a few steps back without aid, but loses his balance, ultimately stumbling into David. Oh no, Mr. Fox, are you okay? I'm just a bit dizzy, I should be fine. Alright, I think we've seen enough. David, help Javier out of here. Theodore, help me clean up, we're leaving. Got it. Rhou and I quickly tidy up, wiping away any prints, while David helps escort Javier out. Man, I hope we don't have to come back here, it's freezing, and it doesn't help that I'm in a t-shirt and shorts. Ugh! I don't think the cool air inside did me any favors. Everyone good? Yeah, I think so. Wow, that was so much fun! We should do that more often! I couldn't find what I was looking for, though. I guess someone took the stuff I was searching for or something. Hey, that reminds me, are you guys undercover police? All eyes fixate on the reindeer, his gaze darting into his phone in a sudden panic as an alarm blares. Oops, I need to head back and return the keys now. If you ever want to hang out again, I have the whole North Penthouse block reserved in the Grand Marine. Bye! We all stare at David as he runs down the hall only to turn around and sprint the other way. We should get out of here, too, before someone sees us. Good idea. Back in Rhu's room, I'm straining to connect the dots as well as I can, but I'm drawing blanks. What if David's somehow involved in this? Huh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna do a different voice for Javier. Huh. Yeah, sorry, just thinking out loud. Oh, that coffee's so good. Alright. I think that's the funniest thing you've said since I met you. The conversation wanes and Rhou resumes his slow pacing. Suddenly he stops and pulls out a small notepad, jotting down thoughts fervently. The wolf moves across the room and shares his notes with Javier, the fox's gaze fixed on the rain trailing down the window. Theodore, besides David, do you have any other ideas on Cyprus? I'm not sure. It still feels too open-ended to make any conclusions, like we're circling around a mystery. The wolf continues his methodical pacing, jotting down more thoughts before walking over and extending the notepad to me. Here. I can't read a single thing Rhou wrote. It's just a bunch of scribbles. I'm having a hard time reading this. It kind of looks like a doctor wrote this. How fitting. You heard that, Rhou. You were meant to be a doctor after all. Sure, only if you pay for the tuition. Yeah, let me see what else you wrote. The fox snatches the notes out of Rhu's paw before scanning through them carefully. Locking themselves inside means they left through the cargo door. The plants we were looking for are gone, but attempted robbery was reported. Inconsistent. The chloroform was present, potentially used on someone. No security. That's all. Well, do you think I'm missing anything? I think for a second. Everything makes sense, but the chloroform keeps sticking out to me. I feel like we are. If the plants were there, we don't know when they could have been moved out. So it could have been before or after the robbery. But what's with the chloroform? I feel like if I was using that, I wouldn't have hid it in a box. Makes me wonder if they were in a rush to escape and had to dispose of it quickly. Besides that, I have no idea what any of this could mean. Good observation. I came to the same conclusion about the rag. You guys probably have better ideas than me. So, as for the chloroform thing, it's like in media, it's portrayed as being like a just an instant knockout, but it's not. It takes like several minutes of holding it against someone's face really tightly for them to actually pass out. So, I don't know if this is just more concentrated or the author didn't know that, but I mean, he didn't pass out, so he just got a little lightheaded. So, I mean, that's better than how it's usually portrayed. Anyway, I have a theory. At some point, a staff of Cyprus came in and was subsequently attacked. The attackers subdued the staff, opened the door, transported the inventory, including the plants, to the loading zone, but barred the entrance before leaving because they heard someone coming. Because of which, they were in a rush to hide the rag and tossed it in the box. I nod back, seemingly able to understand that line of logic. You see, I thought that at first, but there's something that feels off about all this. Enlighten me. Dust said that whoever was trying to break in couldn't get past all the locks. But assuming if that reindeer was telling the truth and this was kept inside, hidden from the public, why did Dust know about it? Second now. Who was this person that told Dust? Are you suggesting it was an inside job or something? Exactly. Let's call this person that told Dust Z. Z knew about the crime, but how? Easy. Z either witnessed, committed, or heard about it from a peer. The most plausible thing that happened is Z heard about this from another staff member of Cyprus. That or security. I doubt Z attempted the robbery only to talk about it with Dust. Right, and the issue here is if Z knew about this, they would have nothing to hide. They reported this as an attempted robbery, even though everything is empty. So Z's most likely telling the truth and someone lied to them. Wait, but how do we know the stuff wasn't just moved out after the attempted robbery? That's illogical with how things are currently presented. Actually, if Cyprus moved the things after the attempted robbery, then they either put the plank or they didn't. It doesn't make sense for them to bar the entrance. They don't have a motive. Therefore, Cyprus had to have entered before the door was barred, else they wouldn't have been able to come in, and they most likely would have reported the blockage. A contradiction. Wait, that puts a hole in my theory. If the staff member was subdued by the attacker and the attacker barred off the door, then the staff member would have to remove the plank before they left. I'm confused. No problem. Let's backtrack our thoughts and see what falls out from ruling out the illogical. First, if we suppose Z was right and that it was an attempted robbery, that means the reason there's nothing inside was because Cyprus already moved it out afterwards. But that means the plank must have been placed after Cyprus left too, and if so, by whom? Either Cyprus or another company. Right, but why would another company barricade the door? More likely than not, it was probably Cyprus. And secondly, if we suppose Z was wrong, then someone lied to them, meaning the robbery was actually successful. Which seems like the case with the chloroform and 2x4. The only issue is, why lie about it being an attempted robbery? Perhaps an inside job, smuggling. Who knows? Either way, it feels like Cyprus is hiding something. So, what do you guys think really happened? Do you think they're doing some shady stuff and this is just the surface, or...? The fox strokes his chin for a second before plopping down on the sofa. Hard to say. I'm leaning towards Cyprus faking something. Naturally, they would have access down there, and it's easy enough for them to clear out their own unit, bar off the entrance, and leave through the loading zone in the back. Why? I don't know, but I'm going to bet my tail that it's related to the contents inside their storage room. Probably the plants, too. Noted. The wolf rips out a page from his notepad and neatly places it in one of the folders on his desk. I suggest we continue the main investigation, perhaps from a different angle now. Agreed. We finish this task to the best of our abilities. We still have leads that'll hopefully draw a clearer picture for us. Sorry to interrupt, but could you tell me more about the plants we're searching for? Are they special or something? The two look at each other before Rhou motions to Javier. Go ahead and tell him. You know the details more than me. The fox sighs with a look of hesitation visible on his face. The plants we're looking for are man-made subspecies of fern. We don't know the specifics, but it's public knowledge that Cyprus had been developing something to absorb carbon dioxide and other heavy gases for a while now. And we suspect they're utilizing these ferns for their research, but not for the reasons they claim. Oh, I hope these plants aren't dangerous or anything. I know there's a whole subspecies that oozes a bunch of white sap that's highly toxic. Yeah, sap. Yeah, that sounds like Rhu's... We don't know if this is related to the harbor fire I showed you yesterday. What? The plants? Cypress. Remember how I mentioned all but one person surviving the harbor fire? Before we launched our investigation, we managed to acquire Cypress's internal investor list, and one of the names led us back to the harbor fire. The catch is, that particular name belonged to a company that went under shortly after the incident. The company being Blackout. What kind of company was Blackout? Research and development. I see. What does this have to do with the harbor? The cargo ship was importing goods at said harbor, including some from Blackout. Strangely enough, it's rumored their goods were the only thing completely destroyed. Other shipments only suffered minor damage. I sigh, weighed down by the complexity of it all. Okay, I think I get it. It's just a lot to wrap my head around. So we're going to investigate Blackout now. Actually, I suggest we take a short detour and look into this after we check up on our friend at the hospital. Agreed. We might get more information on your situation, Theodore. The mention of the incident earlier makes me nauseous, and I'm not particularly looking forward to what we might encounter later tonight. Do I have to go too? I was hoping I could take things easy before tonight. Rhou notices my apprehension and offers a reassuring pat on my back, gesturing toward the door. Assuming they're awake, don't you want to hear the events from the source? Might be important. Yeah, I guess. Hopefully they were coherent enough to speak with us. They really took a beating. Well, not as much of a beating as Rhou gave to that one guy. I'm sure our friend is fine. Probably. The fox gets up and throws a couple of punches at the air, which Rhou rolls his eyes at. All right, let's get going before I beat you. Huh, you wish, you mutt. I take a deep breath before getting up, mentally preparing myself for what's to come. With the two in such high spirits, I feel like I can do this. Maybe. Second, now. We're on a familiar road. Seems like we're near Dust Cafe. The ride's way smoother this time thanks to Javier picking out a large SUV. Although, maybe he's overcompensating a bit. Rhou is completely reclined in the passenger seat up front, fully enjoying the ride. Meanwhile, Javier, who is intently navigating the vehicle, is struggling somewhat to access the pedals. With thoughts weighing heavily on my mind, I feel a pressing need to break the silence. Hey, I've been thinking. It's fine that I'm tagging along with you guys, right? I don't want to be a burden. You're manageable. A suppressed chuckle slips from the fox's mouth, prompting Rhou to glare back. You're overthinking things. It's mutually beneficial for us to work together. You get that, right? Regardless, we wouldn't just leave you, especially after all that. Isn't that right, Javier? As long as he doesn't get in our way, he can do whatever he wants. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Thanks. I've been trying to pull my own weight in the group this morning, but I'm not entirely sure how. I feel so useless? I cast my gaze downward, fixating on the floor. Going to stop you right there. Huh? You're not an investigator. You haven't gone through any training yet. You've been managing to hold your own. Not to mention how stressful all this must be to you. Considering that, I think you're doing a commendable job. Wow. Wow, high praises from Rhou. That's rare. I mean, I guess you did uncover an interesting lead with David, and who knows? Maybe the board will share valuable information with us. Just keep doing what you've been doing. You're not as bad as other people we've worked with. But... Javier's tone takes a playful turn, and I can catch a glimpse of his mischievous smile in the rearview mirror. If you wish to contribute further, there are a few ways you can assist us in this case. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Javier? Nope, it's fine. I'm willing to help. It's the least I could do. Wow, agreeing before you even learn what the task is. Alright, so you're serious. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Summer, and thank you going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our two gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!